How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is another Sleep Token reaction. We are getting closer and closer to the end, to the climax of this album, and I am excited and nervous, and I have been going through bit by bit through the last couple of records to kind of refresh my memory, just so I can catch some kind of references here and there. Hopefully, I mentioned in the last video, I have the attention span of a housefly, so we'll see how well that goes. But real quick, I do want to say again, thank you to my Patreon subscribers, subscribers. Yeah, looks like more and more of you are choosing to become patrons, and I truly do appreciate it. You can become a patron if watching this video and you want to support the channel. You can click the link description or up there. There's another way. YouTube apparently rolled out the partnership program earlier for some creators in certain countries, and I was one of the lucky few, so I'm kind of officially a YouTube partner now, which is crazy. So because of that, I have access to something called Super Thanks, which you'll see below, which is like a one-time thing. If you want to support me just on this video and you don't want to have like a monthly thing going on, that's fine too. If you feel generous enough and you want to support the channel, I think you have like, it can highlight your comments. It gives you some stickers or animations or something that you can use in the comments. I'm not really sure what it does, but it's down there. So thank you once again. And let's get into the reaction. I'm excited. We're getting close to the end. This is, let's do it. It's very similar to how Granite started. That marimba type instrument. Not a huge fan of it, but let's see.
Do you roll with the waves? Or do you duck into deep blue safety? Is it always the same? Do you wish that you loved me? Do you pull out the chains? Or do you push into constant aching each and every day? Do you wish that you loved me?
Ooh, heavy already. Damn, it's a groove.
Is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Do you know what it is? Do you wish that you loved me? Now, are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Can you ever forgive yourself? Do you wish that you loved me? My reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should, and I would turn into a stranger in an instant if I could. And there is something eating me alive, I don't know what it is. Maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist.
Okay.
Do you ever believe
I think I have an idea of what
we
the song
can
is.
turn into different people? It's getting harder to be myself. Do you wish that you loved me?
Oh, broke out the vocoder for that.
Could we ever release? Is it better to just not feel? Can we hit delete? Do you wish that you loved me? And it's been so long that I'm forgetting what it feels like, but I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. And I try so hard to fix it all, but nothing seems to help. But I can't loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, do you wish that you loved me?
This is an introspective song.
Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, do you wish that you loved me?
Interesting. Okay. I didn't think I'd have a least favorite song. Hear me out. The lyrics in the song are deep as fuck, as they've always been. They're heavy, and I want to get into that in a bit, but structurally, this is probably one of my least favorite songs. Just because I want to be critical, but in a respectful way. I'm not trying to hate on the song, not at all, but there's that marimba type thing. It was throughout the entire song, and this is, I think, the only song where there's absolutely no variety in the instrumentation. That isn't to say it's a bad song, because, you know, your least favorite something can still be fucking amazing. It's just down on the list of your favorite stuff. I would put this song like near the bottom or at the bottom. I don't know. I haven't heard the rest of this album, but yeah, it's okay. The instrumentation was okay in this one. It felt very like poppy. Not that that's a bad thing. There are a few songs that Sleep Token have done that have felt poppy, but they've felt like punchy. I'm not using the right adjectives. Words no come good. I just mean the song is like, alright, it's fine. But the lyrics, this is an introspective song. Or at least it's introspective, like half the song's introspective. He is switching between perspectives, or he's switching between directing it at something. Now in verse 1, he asks, firstly, the song's full of questions, which is what made me think it's introspective. It's like he's standing in front of a mirror singing at himself, like the chorus suggests. And my reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should. And the end of the song, do you wish that you loved me? And then he sort of accents those words by repeating the chorus, smile back at me. He's not talking to anyone else. He's talking to himself. He wants his reflection to smile back at him. This song is about him wanting to be in a place where he can love himself again, or at least forgive himself, right? Because where was it? Oh, was it the first thing? Yeah. So, like, is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Now we know, or at least we can hypothesize, that the relationship was one-sided. He poured everything he could into it. She was indifferent, cold, just sort of neutral towards him. She wasn't in it as much as he was, at least after the incident or accident or whatever that trauma episode was. After that, she completely switched off. He was sort of trying to push and prod, and like a lot of these songs suggest, he wanted the communication. She wasn't giving it to him. So this is him asking himself, is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Yeah, the love and attention that he was giving her, that was never returned. Do you know what it is? Do you wish that you loved me? He's asking himself, do you wish that you loved me? He's talking to himself in that regard. And where's that other word? Yeah, so let's just go through it. Do you roll with the waves or do you duck in a deep blue safety? This is another reference to the second album. What song is it? I don't think this is referencing a particular song, but it's definitely evoking that this place will become your tomb vibes, with the water and the ocean and the tide, carrying the tides and all of that. that reference, right? Do you roll with the waves? Do you let the tide carry you, right? Because there's a song where he does that. He's like, do the tides carry you or carry me? One of those. You will let me know in the comments. Do you roll with the waves or do you duck into deep blue safety? So he's asking, is it safer to just sink below? Because the imagery that he evoked with being in water and underwater, he was talking about himself in that album. He was talking about himself swimming, drowning, sinking, not being able to swim, or, it may have been metaphorical. This is also metaphorical, but he's talking about himself. Do you roll with the waves or do you duck into deep blue safety? It could also be him asking, he's not like, do you does not refer to one person. He's not directing it at one person. He's asking, does one roll with the waves or does one duck into deep blue safety? Which is the right answer here? Which is safer? He feels sinking below is much safer than letting the waves carry, whether it's to the shore, to land, or carry you out further. Is that safer, or do you sink below the waves, below the current, basically, right? Is it always the same? Are we in a loop? Because there have been songs where he's kind of inferred that he's in a loop. It keeps happening. It's a cycle that keeps repeating itself. Is it always the same? Do you wish that you loved me? Do you pull at the chains or do you push into constant aching? So chains, again, metaphorical. He feels like he's trapped or he's chained to, whether it's the situation or whether it's the relationship. Or do you push into constant aching? Do you just let the pain of being chained up, do you accept that pain? Do you just let go in that moment? Or do you pull at the chains so that whoever's on the other side pulling the chain can't hurt you, right? Each and every day, do you wish that you loved me? Is there something you give that you'll never receive in return? I mentioned that basically him talking to himself, and he's saying, yeah, the love and the attention. Is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Do you know what it is? Because he's trying to ask, like, do you know why it is, what it is? Do you know exactly what it is? Is it just the love and attention that you gave her? Or is it something else that you would never receive in return? Are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Can you ever forgive yourself? So it's an interesting thing, and this might be diving a little too much into it. This is me kind of putting on a tinfoil hat. But the way he's phrased that, can you ever forgive, in parentheses, yourself? Yourself was a little bit echoey, like a reflection of sound, reflection coming from a mirror, maybe. Again, like I said, that's just me putting on my tinfoil hat. I was reading too much into that. But he's definitely talking to himself. He's talking to himself in a mirror. Can you ever forgive yourself? Can you? Yeah. Like everything is a lesson to learn. Are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Do you wish that you love me? I mean, there's no like metaphor there. Are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Do you not just experience life? Are you trying to derive the lesson out of everything? Are you trying to live like everything is a lesson? Are you never just lost in the moment? Are you latching on and overanalyzing and like looking for the meaning in every aspect of life where there's a lesson to learn, right? And do you wish that you loved me? And then the chorus, basically, the chorus hinted to me that this was an introspective song, and my reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should, and I would turn into a stranger in an instant if I could, and there is something eating me alive, I don't know what it is. Maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. So this is what made me think, one, he's talking to himself in a mirror, but also he's switching perspectives, like he's speaking out into the ether basically, and he's talking to her as if she were there. Maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. Like maybe you never loved me in the first place, right? That could also be him talking to himself. Like, can I love myself, or did I just never care in the first place? I don't think it's that though. The more I think about it, I think he's again speaking as though she were there, and she was like, maybe it's not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. This is again another like I spoke a bit while doing the second album reaction that he was going through the stages of grief, like bargaining, acceptance, depression, all of that, right? This to me feels like another sort of bargaining line where he's like trying to what's the word? Shush. Where he's trying to like decide for himself, like, oh, maybe there was nothing there to begin with, maybe it was something else. Like he's trying to bargain his way out of maybe the guilt, maybe the I don't want to say hatred, but like the stronger negative emotions that he was feeling at the time. So yeah, I would turn into a stranger in an instant if I could, which kind of ties into his whole becoming vessel thing from, yeah. And then verse 3, do you ever believe that we can turn into different people? Which calls back to him saying, I would turn into a stranger in an instant if I could. It's getting harder to be myself. Again, that accented word myself in parentheses, reflecting back at him. Can we ever release? Is it better just to not feel? Can we hit delete? So he's again bargaining and saying, can we just control Z this entire fucking situation? Can we just hit delete? Go back. Like, is it delete the entire relationship or delete that episode, that trauma that they experienced and start over? Right? Is it better to just not feel? Do we not process our emotions? Do we keep them repressed, bottled inside? Can we ever release? He's positing that question out into the ether. Can we never release? Can we never talk about our feelings? Is it better just to not feel? And the chorus again, it's been so long that I'm forgetting what it feels like, but I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. So it's been so long. So yeah, it's happened a while ago, but he's still unable to move on from it and kind of forget, right? But I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. So that's him kind of going from a bargaining standpoint to an acceptance standpoint in one song and saying, I'd rather not remind myself and just leave it behind. I've tried so hard to fix it all, but nothing seems to help, which calls back to Are You Really Okay? Where he was asking her, if you want to go down that narrative path and not have it be the mother to the son narrative, but him to his girlfriend narrative. I've tried so hard to fix it all, but nothing seems to help. And I cannot hope to give you what I cannot give myself. So that's again calling back to, can you ever forgive yourself? So I cannot hope to give you what I cannot give myself. So he cannot forgive her for what has happened because he cannot forgive himself. Right? And then the outro basically reflecting the entire, the chorus, which definitely makes me think it's an introspective song. So he's repeating it back at himself. Do you wish that you loved me? Smile back at me. Please smile back at me. So that's him asking his reflection to smile back at him. He feels like his reflection, it's definitely like a philosophizing of one's own internal feelings. Like the mirror is reflecting what he feels on the inside. Even though he's smiling, the mirror isn't smiling. This reflection is not smiling, and he's begging it to smile back, but he knows the only way it will is if he forgives himself and lets go of that emotion, heals on the inside, it will reflect on the outside. That's kind of that's what I got from that. So that's awesome. But yeah, this is Do You Wish That You Loved Me? There was a visualizer for the song, but I mean, okay, I don't really know what the fuck this thing is. I was just more interested in the lyrics. Someone's restless. Yeah, so great. Let me know what you guys thought. I mean, looking at the picture of it, looks like what is that? Is that a car engine? No, right? It looks like a car engine with pistons and the pipes and the valves and everything. I don't know, maybe not. But it is oozing. It is oozing like it is. And it has that coin face like the one from Chokehold. Different looking coin face, but coin face nonetheless. Anyway, that was Do You Wish That You Loved Me? Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. You'll have a good one. Thanks once again to my Patreon supporters and everyone else. If you want to, you can support me through the super thanks or become a patron. And if you want to wait and join at a higher level and get some exclusive content out of it, That's totally okay too. But I will see you in the next one. Y'all take care. Have a good one. Bye bye. The fuck was that? Bye bye.